I'm State Senator Anthony Portantino, and welcome to our California Mortgage Relief Town Hall tonight. I want to thank everybody who sent their questions in ahead of time. Tonight, I'm pleased that we're joined by Frances Marti, who is the Director of Legislation and Policy at the California Housing Finance Agency, and also Nicole Evans, who is the Director of Outreach and Engagement for the California Mortgage Relief Program, who's going to be making our overview, and then we're going to go into questions. So thank you for joining this webinar. We are, obviously, like many of you, we're concerned about how the pandemic has affected our lives, our ability to keep our mortgages up to date, our ability to pay our rent, our ability to function. So, just for everyone out there who's dealt with COVID for these past years, our best wishes are with you. And, we're happy to put on this program tonight to maybe provide a little bit of relief for some of you out there. So thank you for joining us. In January, the state launched the California Mortgage Relief Program to provide one-time payments to qualified homeowners who are falling behind on their housing payments due to the COVID-related hardships. $1 billion in relief funds are available to applicants. So tonight, hopefully, you're going to learn how to become eligible to be one of those applicants. The 2021 American Rescue Plan Act made this program possible. So we also want to give a shout out to that. While today's workshop is about the California Mortgage Relief Program, I'd like to remind everybody that landlords and tenants can still apply for COVID relief funds that will cover 100% of unpaid rent. So that program is still there for the renters and landlords out there. So if you want to apply for that rent subsidy, you can do it at housingiskey.com. So housingiskey.com for more information around the rent program. So don't forget that that's still out there. Tonight, we're going to talk about mortgages, but the rent program is still out there. Yesterday, the governor signed SB 114 and SB 113, supplemental paid sick leave and economic relief for the pandemic, which is another $6.1 billion in tax relief for 500 million goes to restaurants, 5.5 billion restores a tax deduction credit to encourage innovation. There's another 150 million in small businesses. So look at those programs that were just signed into law yesterday. My staff is available in our Glendale and San Dimas office. If you are applying for any of those funds, don't hesitate to reach out for help from my staff. Couple housekeeping rules for tonight. We had questions come in ahead of time. And so we're going to try to get to all of those questions ahead of time. I don't know, we're not going to have time for questions that come through the chat or other forms because we asked for your questions and you sent them in. So we're going to try to go through all of those. That doesn't mean if you have specific questions that don't get answered tonight that you shouldn't get in. So we also have a call center that's 1-888-840-2594, 1-888-840-2594. I'll say it one more time, 1-888-840-2594. We wanted to respect people's privacy as well. So this call center is set up to deal with any delicate situation that you want to talk about in relation to your application or your situation. Also, the website, or excuse me, you can email info@CAMORTGAGERELIEF.org. That's basically California, CAMortgagerelief.org, CAMortgagerelief.org. And in addition, HUD certified housing counselors can be reached at 1-800-569-4287, 1-800-569-4287. All of this contact information is on the slides as well, but I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to know that there's call centers, experts, and email opportunities available for all of you if we don't get to your questions tonight. Again, I'm State Senator Anthony Portantino. I want to thank my staff and CALHFA staff for setting this up tonight, and for Nicole and Frances for being here with us to go over this program. So first, we're going to go over the highlights of the program, then we're going to go right into questions. So tonight we have Nicole Evans, who is the Director of Outreach and Engagement for the Mortgage Relief Program, she's responsible for helping to inform and engage all of you in this conversation and get the word out. We want to get the word out. We can't spend the money if you don't apply for it. Let me say that again. We can't spend the money if you don't apply for it. So tonight we're going to help you know how to navigate the application system so you can get the mortgage relief that you need and deserve. And that's sitting there waiting for you to access it. So this is her job to do this. She's launched several state government outreach programs, public education, and she, lives here with her family and is here to help us. So I'm going to turn it right over to Nicole to let's walk us through this exciting program that's available for all of you. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Senator Portantino. Thank you for having this and making sure we let the residents of your district and folks throughout California know that this important resource, and it's fairly new, is available to homeowners who have fallen behind on their payments. So we're really excited to be here with all of you today. So thanks for having us. I'm going to run through, and there we go. So what we want to go over today is just give you an idea of what the California Mortgage Relief Program is, who's eligible, how you can apply. We're going to talk a little bit about fraud and scams because there's a lot of those out there in the world of mortgage and housing. And so we want to make sure you know and feel comfortable about the program we're operating. Talk about some other resources that are available to homeowners and to Californians. We also need help from everybody to get the word out. Like if this program isn't for you, maybe it's for your neighbor. So we also want you to help us get the word out. And then we'll take some of the questions that came in. So before I get too deep into what the program is, I want to just give you some background, which the Senator talked a little bit about. This mortgage relief program is part of a larger COVID response package that, President Biden, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and Congress stepped up to provide to Americans, recognizing that this pandemic was going to have a financial toll on so many people. And so a number of federal funds have gone out to states, as the Senator mentioned, in rental assistance, as well as mortgage relief. So we have the emergency rental assistance program, which he talked a little bit about. And then California, just at the end of last year, received $1 billion in American Rescue Plan funds to help with mortgage relief. So the governor is stepping up as well in providing additional assistance to homeowners in California and a number of programs. So we got this program up and running in less than 2 weeks after we received approval. We're the third state to run our program, and actually California received the most assistance of any other state. The way this program works is, just to give you a bigger overview, is it's providing financial assistance to eligible homeowners who have fallen behind on their mortgage or their reverse mortgage due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We really want to give a fresh starts to homeowners who had a COVID hardship. We received the $1 billion, as I mentioned, that money is going to be spent on grants that will go directly to mortgage servicers. So homeowners will apply, and then if they are awarded funding, the grants will go right to the mortgage servicer to pay any past due amount on your mortgage up to $80,000. And one of the remarkable things about this program is that money does not have to be paid back. So a few years ago, during the housing crisis in the early 2000s, there was a similar program, but the homeowners actually ultimately had to pay that money back. And in this program, they do not. And then the money is available on a first come, first served basis. So when the Senator said, you have to apply to get the money out, like, please apply, first come, first serve. So we want to encourage people to go to our website and see what the eligibility requirements are, and then ultimately they can apply through the website. Our goal is to help 20,000 to 40,000 homeowners, and this is part of the larger Housing is Key initiative. All right. So this is like the most important thing all of you are probably wondering about is if you're eligible. So this is a really high level overview of eligibility. There are a few more things when you go through the process that we'll ask, but just to give you a bigger picture of how to qualify for this program. So we are, the program is open to homeowners whose household income is 100% is no more than 100% of their county's area median income. And we'll go over that a little bit later because it's probably a term nobody's familiar with and that doesn't mean a lot to you. So we'll help make sense of that for you here. Just hang on and stay with me. They need to own or occupy, this needs to be your primary residence, basically. It could be a home, condo, permanently affixed manufactured home. You can only own one home, and the home it needs to be owned by the individual or multiple individuals, but it can't be owned by a business like an LLC. And then ultimately, when you apply, everybody will have to, who owns the home, who's on that mortgage, needs to sign the application. You need to be at least two payments behind on your mortgage at the end of last year. And you also need to be behind like currently, like if you were behind at the end of last year and you've caught up on your mortgage and you are no longer behind or delinquent, then you would not be eligible for this program. You have to actually be delinquent on your mortgage when you apply. And that delinquency had to have started at least 2 months into last year. And then we'll also ask when you go through the application process if you faced a pandemic related financial hardship. And it could be a hardship that was a loss of income, or you had to take on additional costs, maybe additional medical costs, maybe family members had to come and live with you. So it could be either side of that in order to be eligible. So that's all of that criteria needs to be met. In addition, applicants must meet one of the following requirements. So they must be receiving public assistance like Medi-Cal, Section 8, SNAP, any kind of a public assistance program, or they need to be spending more than 40% of your monthly income. So whatever money the household brings in, more than 40% of that is paying for housing costs, your mortgage, insurance, property taxes, utilities, whatever that housing cost might be. Or you have, if your housing costs are less than 40% of your income, you talk to your mortgage servicer and said, I'm behind. Can we work something out? Can we modify my loan in some way? And the mortgage servicer says there's no other option available to you. Then even if your housing costs are less than 40% of your income, then you may be eligible. So I said I'd come back to this. So what is 100% of your area median income? So unfortunately, we do it on a county by county basis. As you know, the cost of living in California varies greatly depending on where you live, especially where you live, the cost can be pretty high. So I just gave a snapshot here and you see different counties. So you would all be in Los Angeles County. So a household with an income of $118,200 or less would meet the income requirement for the program. So just to give you a sense of what that number would be. It represents the midpoint of a region's family income, and it's adjusted annually, and it's based off of a criteria that was set and a dollar amount that was set by HUD at the federal level. And if you're not living in LA County or one of these counties, if your residence is not in any of the counties here, we have for you on our website an AMI calculator. This is our web address where you can go and right here enter the name of the county you reside in, the number of people in your household, because the AMI is dependent on the number of people in your household. It'll fluctuate based on how many people live in the home. So you enter the number of people in the household, and then it will give you what the AMI is for your household. So the number I showed you before was for a family of 4, but it really fluctuates depending on how many people live there. So I've talked a lot about traditional mortgages, but also this program will cover people with reverse mortgages. So if they are behind on their property tax or on their homeowners insurance, they could be eligible to receive assistance through our program to help pay for those past due amounts. So it's the same criteria, just available for people with reverse mortgages. Homeowners will have to provide documentation, and they'll also provide a documentation through the application process as well. So that was kind of a high level overview of the eligibility. So there is more information, as I said, on our website that goes a little bit deeper into eligibility. And frankly, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about your own personal circumstance right now and wondering if you're eligible. I would encourage you to call the contact center or send an email to the contact center number, by the way, is here at the bottom of the screen. It's the number the senator gave out at the beginning. We also have our email account. Part of the reason, again, we want to protect people's individual privacy during these webinars and not open it up to general questions is we don't want people to reveal a lot about your personal finances. But you can call the contact center, and they can spend a little more time with you, and you can explain your current circumstance, and they can let you know if you might be eligible and if you want to apply. So that's a great resource for you. So if you're ready to apply and you think this program might be for you and your family, then basically you will go online and go to our website, and we have an apply now right there on every single page, and you click through, and there'll just be a quick overview of a few questions before you head into the application to make sure you kind of meet some basic criteria. But one of the things we wanted to talk about is that the payment will go, again, I mentioned this earlier, but the payment, if you get awarded through this program, the payment goes directly to your mortgage servicer and will catch you up on all past due amounts. But as part of that, we do a lot of work and back and forth through that review process. So once you've submitted your application, during that review process, we'll work to make sure and verify your past due amount. We'll need to verify your income and all the documents to prove all of that. And then ultimately the payments will go to your mortgage servicer, and then you'll be caught up and have a fresh start. So we had forbearance early on in COVID during this pandemic, but still we knew people have this big lump sum that they're going to have to pay, and this program might help take care of that for a lot of people, and we hope it will. This is the home page, and right here in the top right corner, apply now. That'll take you right in. It's available in many languages. You will be able to, if English is not your native language, we'll be able to help take care of you. You'll head into this. This is the questionnaire that we have you fill out right before you head into the application. It just goes over some of that core criteria that I reviewed earlier, and make sure that you kind of meet that first criteria before you invest a lot of time going through an application process. I will say it does take some time, as I mentioned, a little back and forth to have the application reviewed, and I want people to be prepared for that. But the mortgage servicer will know, we'll be in touch with your mortgage servicer. They'll know that we're going through this process with you. That process takes time. I do want to say, if you have your documents and your information ready to go, though, once you go in and do the application, it can be done in less than 30 minutes. In fact, it might even be easier to do it on your smartphone or on a tablet than even on a computer. We'll need to get documents from you, like your proof of your bank statements or your mortgage statements, and those you can just use your phone, take a picture of the document, and easily upload it right there when you're doing your application. So it's a very simple to get through application, and then we'll have a lot of dialogue and back and forth with homeowners during that application process. So these are some of those documents that you'll need to upload. Like I said, mortgage statement, bank statement, utility bill, some kind of income documentation, whether it's pay stubs or if you're receiving unemployment or other programs like that. There might be additional documents. So when you're going through this process, our eligibility team might ask for more information. Just so you're prepared for that. For instance, if your housing, we talked about if your housing costs are less than 40% of your income, you might be able to apply if your mortgage servicer says there's no other option available. So we need a letter from your mortgage servicer telling us that. If you're in active bankruptcy, some people might wonder, can I apply if I'm in bankruptcy? Well, you can. And we'll just need to get a letter from your trustee and from the mortgage servicer saying, yeah, well, it's fine. You can apply the funds from this program to your mortgage. That would be okay. So if we get a letter from the trustee, people who in bankruptcy can apply. Now, we anticipated that applicants were going to have questions and need some one-on-one support. So this webinar is great. It's giving you a little bit of information, but there's probably more that you want or need. So we talked about HUD certified housing counselors and mortgage servicers. So they know a lot more about the range of options available to homeowners. It might be that the California Mortgage Relief Program may not be for you or for your loved one or your neighbor. It may not be right, but you still might need help with your to ensure that you can make your mortgage payments. A HUD certified housing counselor or mortgage servicer can give you a wider view of what your options might be, and maybe we will be the best option. Our contact center is solely focused on the California Mortgage Relief Program, and they know it very deeply, and they can help provide technical assistance to anybody who calls, either if they're wondering if they should apply, or once they're in the application and you might be filling out that application and not sure what information do I need to upload. Will this work? Will that work? The contact center can help you figure that out. And then we have an email account too that you can write to and we'll respond to within 3 business days. So that's info@camortgagerelief.org. You might have noticed we have had this on every single slide here for you to give you plenty of opportunity to write it down and keep it close to you. We do have specialists who are available in 200, who can speak 200 different languages, and we're ready to help out anybody who might have questions. I mentioned that we wanted to talk a little bit about fraud and scams. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad actors out there, and especially during COVID and all these COVID relief programs, unfortunately, there have been people trying to game the system and take advantage improperly and take resources away from people who really need them. And so we want to encourage everybody as part of our program to be alert for fraud and scammer and make sure that that nobody tries to prey on you. So this is information we actually have up on our website. I'm not going to go through every single one in detail here, but I want to encourage you to go online and take a look at that, because we don't want anyone to fall into these tricks. So if people are pressuring you to act immediately, if they're trying to convince you to hand over the deed of your home in order to get the money for the mortgage relief, if they say that you should give them, receive some funds or make payments to another group, and then they'll make sure they can get you the money through the mortgage relief program, any of that would be a scam, and you should call our 800 number. Actually, we have information on our website about where to report scams or suspected fraud and scams. We actually will work with the authorities, and we want to know about each and every one so we can try to stop people from taking advantage of anybody. I do want to let people know that our program has a highly secure portal. We've learned a lot from the other COVID programs that are out there. We have a highly secure portal. We're always investigating any questionable activity on our website. We have very strict protocols for personal information within our the people who work on the program and within our IT systems. So you can feel comforted that we're working hard to protect anybody who applies in our program. If you have somebody reach out to you about the California Mortgage Relief Program and you want to make sure that it's really us and really our program, we want you to know, first and foremost, this program is provided as a free service. There is no application or costs or fees associated with applying. If anybody tells you there is, they're probably not with the California Mortgage Relief Program. This financial help never has to be paid back. The money is awarded in the form of a grant and it goes straight to your mortgage servicer. And part of that is actually a fraud prevention. I mean, I know some people might want the money to come to their home, but it's fraud prevention on our part to make sure, again, that the money goes where it's supposed to go. And those are the highlights really of how you can protect yourself. And again, we encourage you to visit our website if you have more questions about fraud and scams or feel like you want to report some. Unfortunately, we know everybody, we wish we could serve everybody who has a need. And this program was established by Congress. We have to follow the guidelines of the U.S. Department of Treasury. We have an approved term sheet that we have to adhere to. So we are limited in how these funds can be spent, but we know people who don't qualify might still need help. So we encourage people, we have on our website here under our help page, additional resources, and it not just for housing assistance, it could be food, it could be healthcare. We really encourage you to go check out that site. If it doesn't feel like this program maybe is right for you, but you still need help, please check our website so you can learn a little bit more about other resources out there. Now, we're going to ask a little something of you. Beside applying, is we would love to get your help. This is a brand new state program. We don't have a big established following on social media. A lot of people don't know about us. And honestly, the best way people can learn about a program like this is from people like you. You're a trusted messenger with your family members. You're a trusted messenger with your neighbors, with the people you see at the grocery store. If you take the information you've learned tonight and share it with 5 people, and then they share it with 5 people, we have $1 billion available. We need to get that out. We need to spread the word high and low across California. And so if you can help us spread the word, just know that you'll be helping your neighbors. You might be helping somebody keep their home, provide shelter for their families. You know, there's a strong emotional connection to having a home, and you can really help, if not yourself, you can help people you care about. So we love your help in spreading the word. Spreading the word is, you know, we live in a modern time, social media. We'd love to have you follow us. It'll help. Again, we'll continue to put information out about eligibility and qualifying, and you can help share it with the people you know and love. We have flyers we can get to the senator's office too, and they can make available. They're on our website. If you know people who you want to give a flyer to so they can know more about the program, it's available. And that is pretty much concludes the overview of our program. Again, we want to encourage anybody who thinks they might be eligible to apply through our website. You can call us and reach us at our contact center listed here, or via email. So we're trying to be ready and open to any questions folks might have and help you out. So thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the chance to tell you about our program. And we'll take some of the questions now and help answer them for everybody. And maybe the senator has a few after hearing the presentation.
Well, thank you, Nicole. I have 3 things I want to say after the presentation. Apply, You don't have to pay anybody. So if anybody approaches you with a program that costs money, this is free. You don't have to pay it back and apply because it's first come, first serve. So the worst that could happen is you spend 30 minutes and you're not eligible. The best that could happen is you spend 30 minutes online and you're eligible and you get your back mortgage payments paid. So take the opportunity to apply. That's number one. Also, on my Facebook page and my website, where this is being recorded and it's going to be there. So if you have folks that you want to link to the presentation, you can share that with them and they can hear from Nicole and go through the PowerPoint because we're saving this to be used. So with that, we're going to go right to your questions that were sent in. Question one, I have not fallen behind in my payments, but I have suffered financially due to the pandemic. Does the California Mortgage Relief Program provide assistance with refinancing my mortgage loan so that I would obtain a lower interest rate and thus lower my monthly payment? In other words, to have a refinance decision based on my consistent payment and credit rather than an overall income. This would enable me and thousands of other California homeowners with stagnant incomes as a result of the pandemic to benefit from lower interest rates. So is there help in refinancing? Question one.
Francis, do you want to, you and I had talked. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to jump in?
No, just please jump in, Nicole. Yes.
Okay. This program in particular is really focused on paying the past due amount for people. So if you missed mortgage payments, that's what this program does, is it pays for those missed mortgage payments. I think that, and really the goal is giving people a fresh start, especially people who were hit hard by the pandemic. If you need to talk about refinancing or other options available to you, we really encourage you to talk to your mortgage servicer or to call a HUD certified housing counselor. And that number is 800-569-4287. Again, I'll say it again, 800-569-4287. And they might be able to talk to you more about refinancing.
All right, so call HUD and talk to your mortgage company. Second question, is the relief solely for homeowners or property owners?
So recognizing that there's a range of COVID-related assistance out there for people, this program was prioritizing individual single homeowners versus property owners or landlords. And so this program is really for individuals who need help with their primary residence.
Right, and I saw that if you own two properties, that disqualified you. So it's for folks who have one primary home that they live in. This is what this program is for.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Question number 3. I have a question regarding the mortgage relief. I was behind on my mortgage a few years before the pandemic and in the middle of my loan modification and all issues related. Do you think I will be eligible to become involved in a new relief program or not? So I guess if their hardship started pre-pandemic and then the pandemic kept it going and exacerbated it, that's the question.
Yeah, so this is a perfect example of a case where this individual might want to call our contact center because it's a little more complex and we don't really have all the details specific. If the delinquency started prior to January 21st, 2020, and was not exacerbated, like we don't know the details for this particular homeowner. So it would be really smart to call that contact center number that we had up here before and talk to them about your specific situation. And if the contact center says you may not qualify for this program, they'll give you a referral to that HUD program.
Right. So make that phone call to that advisor sooner rather than later to give your specific details is what we want you to do. All right. Question number 4. I haven't fallen behind on my payments yet, but I lost my job of 19 years because of COVID in April of last year, and my unemployment has run out. I will be behind soon if I don't get a job. Can I qualify this? If so, so I don't lose my house. So I guess prospectively, if they start to fall behind, are they eligible?
Yeah. This program, one of the tricky parts is we don't want to encourage people to stop paying on their stop making their mortgage payments. And so we had to set up the program so you had to have started falling behind or become delinquent with your mortgage by the end of last year in order to be eligible. So if you're currently caught up on your mortgage, this program may not be right. But if you think you're gonna start falling behind, if your resources are stretched too thin, please call a HUD certified housing counselor so they can talk to you about your options.
And also, if we look at the small business relief package from 2 years ago, as the program got exhausted, we created a second one and a third one, and we refined the criteria. Obviously, we hope we don't have to, but there's always that possibility that these programs will get extended and modified. So even if you're not eligible now, monitor the program prospectively, because you might be eligible in a phase 2 or a phase 3 as things change. So, obviously be an advocate for yourself and monitor how these programs are rolled out. Question number 5. I've owned my home for decades and I'm a senior citizen. I worked all of my adult years until the pandemic hit. I'm unemployed and have been now for almost 3 years. I've struggled to keep my mortgage payments current. There have been a couple times when I fell behind one month and I immediately received foreclosure letters from my mortgage company. I have a high interest rate and I've tried to refinance, but no one will allow me to because I do not have a job. I've always done whatever I had to make my payments. If I could refinance while the interest rates are low, then my payments would be lower. I want to keep my house. What do you recommend I do? So this is similar to the other situation. So those folks who want to try to refinance, what's your recommendation?
We encourage people to call HUD. So you call a HUD certified housing counselor and 800-569-4287. Again, 800-569-4287. And talk to them about your interest in refinancing and see if they can help you find something.
Right. And if you did get in arrears, then that's a different situation.
Right.
Next question. My parents are really struggling, but have barely managed to scrape by. Are there relief options available to people who are not behind, but can demonstrate a severe financial hardship directly tied to the pandemic? In addition, my parents took advantage of an 18-month forbearance, about $45,000 in total house payments offered by their lender. But according to the bank, my parents are now responsible for an additional $200,000 on top of the original loan due to the forbearance. I tried to get clarification with no avail. This does not make any sense to me. Obviously, they took $45,000 and now they owe $200,000. I agree with this person. What do we say to this person?
Well, I think they need to call our contact center because, again, they can work through these very specific details related to this homeowner. But I do want to mention something about forbearance in general. I can't, again, speak to this case, but I do want to speak to this because there is some confusion out there about forbearance. So during the pandemic, the first step that was taken was to allow homeowners to hit the pause button on their mortgages. So they didn't need to pay their mortgage if they had a COVID hardship, but recognizing that these payments were still going to have to be owed when that forbearance ended, this program was created. So for people on forbearance who are facing a lump sum payment on a COVID related forbearance and facing a lump sum payment, they could be eligible for this program. And they might want to look at the criteria to see if they should apply.
So this person might actually be eligible. So go online, apply, and call and talk to a counselor. So this is good. Next question. If my application questionnaire results say I am not eligible, can I still fill out an application?
Absolutely. So you can anybody is welcome to fill out an application if they'd like to, even if they don't think that they're going to meet the criteria. So.
Great. So yeah, again, you have to be an advocate for yourself. Take the 30 minutes, fill out the application. If you have questions, call the call center and get those questions answered. Don't be shy. Question 8, am I still eligible if I've already received COVID-related government assistance from another program? Actually, that was one of the criteria, that if you have received assistance and you're under the 40%, that is one of the things that allows you to qualify, right?
A little bit, close. So any general public assistance, like if you're receiving unemployment, but specific to COVID-related relief, absolutely, you are still eligible. So if you meet all the other criteria and you receive some COVID assistance, you are eligible. It would not exclude you from participating in this program.
Right. Doesn't disqualify you. So again, fill out the application. Next question, question 9. How long does it take to review an application? That's a very fair question. Once I send it in, what's the response time back?
Yeah, I do want to say it takes a little time, and I want people to be prepared for that, because once we receive that information, we have to verify with the mortgage servicer. There could be some back and forth with the servicer or with the homeowner. We might need to come back to the applicant and ask for additional information. So it really depends on everybody's response times back to us. And but if they're worried about, like, okay, I started my application in February and I don't have an answer, and now I'm another month behind in March, that will be added to the total, because because the goal of the program is to make you even and catch you up on all the missed payments, and that would even include the period of time in which you're going through your application.
And I think the question is sort of, so I hit send. Do I get a confirmation?
Yeah, we'll stay in touch with the homeowner so that they'll gain access to the portal, where they can continue to go back at any time they want to check the status of their application. And then we'll also send notes like, you're allowed 30 days to complete your application. So if you don't have all your documents gathered at one time and you want to take a little time, I got to go find out, maybe 2 people in the home have an income and you need to go get that other person's income up. Whatever your delay is, you have 30 days to finish. If it gets to be 15 days and you haven't finished your application, we're going to send you an email saying, hey, don't forget about your application. And so we do stay in touch. If we need additional information, we'll send an email. So we stay in touch with the applicants, but you can stay in touch with us too and call that contact center. If you feel like the process is too slow, call the contact center.
So Nicole, I'm going to follow up. You said it will take a bit of time. Is a bit of time 1 week, 3 weeks, 2 months? What do we anticipate the response time to be to review an application for somebody to get an answer, yes or no?
I want to be careful about being specific on a period of time, but it can take several weeks for the review process, like more than.
Obviously, so a couple weeks, but obviously it also depends on if they need more information and how quickly the response is. But we're not talking months, we're talking weeks.
Yes.
In processing this.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's important. And the next question is similar. This person says, once they're approved, how long does it take for the mortgage or the bank company to receive the payment once an application is approved?
Yeah. Once the application's approved, we go one last final check with the mortgage servicer and confirm the amount, and then a check gets cut and sent up to the mortgage servicer. So even that itself can take a week or two.
A week or two, but again, we're talking weeks, not months.
Right.
Which is good to know. So it could take several weeks to process. Once you get approved, it could take several weeks. And again, if the process drags on and you become in arrears for an extra month, that month gets made eligible. So you become whole at the end of that's the goal, is to make it whole at the end of the process. The last question you answered already, but we'll go just so people understand. Once I finish my application, will I still be able to access it if I need to make changes? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
Not only will you be able to update your application, but you'll also be able to check on the status of your application.
That's right. So one of the first steps to apply is you create a login. So you'll be able to come back to the portal and check on your status anytime.
Great. Those are the questions that we got in ahead of time. We had about 60 to 70 people log on. Again, the presentation is going to be available on Facebook, on my page. Nicole, give us the hotline number again.
Oh gosh, okay, hold on. Hold please, everybody. I'm gonna get it for you. It is. Make this go away.
Share the screen maybe again if you can.
Yeah, there we go. That's the plan. That's what I'll do. There we go. Is it coming up? I don't think it came up, huh?
Nope, didn't come up. So tell us.
Okay. Okay, let me tell it to you. It is 888-840-2594. Again, 888-840-2594.
So call that number, log on to the website. We just wanted a short program tonight to walk you through the eligibility, the access portal, and encourage you to apply as soon as you can and share this information with your friends and relatives. It's $1 billion. It's going to go on a first come, first served basis. It's a 30-minute process through the application if you have all of your information available. And if you don't have all of your information available, you got 30 days to complete that application and interact with the folks there. So, you know, again, there's the numbers in the chat so everybody can see it with the website. You know, call the hotline number, get your specific questions answered. This program is created to help you. Please take advantage of it. And I want to thank Nicole and Frances and the staff for putting this together tonight. And obviously my office is available. Everyone's available to guide you. Share the link with your friends. Take advantage of this. And if somebody approaches you with a deal that costs you money, run away from them. This is a free program. Anybody who's asking you to pay for a service is a scam. So this is free, doesn't have to get paid back. There's no cost to apply. There's no reason why the 62 people who logged on tonight shouldn't apply as soon as possible to get in the queue. All right. And stay away from anybody who's trying to take advantage of you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. If your question wasn't answered, email it to the number in the chat and we'll try to get you an answer. So I appreciate it. Again, I'm Anthony Portantino, proud to represent the 25th State Senate District, the best district in the state of California. And thank you, Nicole and Frances, for being here and my staff for putting this on tonight.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.